I'm Oliver Trevina in studio with the Hollywood Reporter, joined by the handsome and talented Jonathan Tucker.
Thanks.
See how I started that up, teed it up?
it.
I figured I'd start strong and then we can bounce off each other.
That's great. Well, the equally talented and handsome on my right.
Thank you. We could wrap this up now, but I feel they need more info. Okay. And there's a lot going on in your world. Apart from being handsome and talented, there's a lot going on.
There is, you know, man, I gotta tell you, like life, there's lots of ups and downs, particularly in this business. And I've been very lucky to be working the past few years, and I've got Westworld coming up in April.
It's definitely up now, yeah. It's definitely up.
Sure, well, we try to keep it right in the middle. Consistent. I've learned to separate employment from work in terms of my vocabulary and verbiage. So you're always working. Whether you're employed or not is up to the gods and other people, and that's given me a lot of sanity over the past few years because I've been doing this a long time, man.
Right, you have.
I've been doing this a long time since I was 11 years old, and I am
35
now, man. No, I'm very lucky to. I'm really good where I am.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to not be in my 20s.
Yeah,
I'm
me
feeling
too.
very good about who I am and what I know about myself.
Right, I love that. Some good advice there. Some good advice to take from that. But yes, talking about Westworld. Coming into season 2, you're going to be joining the cast.
Got the horses.
Well, there you go.
I like that, working the theme.
You know,
coming in.
It's important. It's important to dress.
I love it.
For the cast.
Yeah. This is the second season. I was a huge fan of the first season.
Okay. I
had worked with Jonah Nolan before. He and his wife, Lisa, who showrun Westworld. They are exceptional people and tremendous talents behind the camera as well. So my hope, my secret hope was that I was going to get to be in Sweetwater, because the show is bifurcated, between the tech world, of course, and the park.
Right.
And of course, as you see in the first season, that starts to blend.
Right.
But I just wanted to make sure I'd at least have a scene or two in the park, because that's the great fantasy.
Right. Well, that's where you get to do it all. Yeah.
And I did get to see the park, and it is all it cracks up to be.
Amazing. I love that. So saying that, because obviously you were a fan obviously before this happened. So then going into the show, you mentioned you know them, but is it more like? Is it just a walk in the park, or is it more fear because you know the show and it's got such success?
It's funny because I've come into a number of shows now that I've been a fan of, Parenthood, Justified, and a few other gigs that aren't coming to mind right away. But you feel this tremendous amount of responsibility because people are taking time out of their schedules. They've got real lives. People are. Paying their bills, and they come home, and you have to honor their time. And if you're a fan of the show, you want to honor the show too, because you know what the weight of that. With Westworld, it's such a big show, and it's so grand in its scope. The quality of the actors and the storytelling is supported by its budget, and the great HBO Fire squad behind it. So, you're always trying to do the best work that you can. I think you kind of get to acknowledge the scope of it. The great thing about Westworld is that there's so much practical about the show. So that town is, you're walking by and you see a watch, man. You can put it on. It's gonna be the right time. The fruit is ripe and ready to eat, literally. That's nice. Sitting there in the baskets.
That's always good.
So if you're going to pull out a bar or a bottle
biting on a wooden apple, I wouldn't recommend it on
set.
But
a lot of these shows don't have the budgets to support those sort of things. You're not going to have an entire town that all of the props are going to be practical. So it was a playground both as an actor and as a person.
Amazing. And you mentioned the cast, obviously huge cast. It's amazing the people on that show. Was there anyone in particular that you were excited about bumping into on set? Anyone that first came to mind?
Ed Harris has been a role model for me as an actor for my entire career. I didn't know that he would also become a role model to me personally too.
Okay.
The way that gentleman handles himself on set is exemplary, and we were in it physically. There were some cold nights, some wet mornings, and he was a beacon.
Well, not just Westworld. We have to touch base on City on a Hill as well.
A Showtime pilot on the other side of the cable spectrum.
There you go. Not that we want to compete against each other, but you are jumping to both.
Well, the Showtime pilot, which is produced by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and written by an extraordinary young guy named Chuck McLean, who's also from Boston, where I hail from as well.
This is true.
The People's Republic of Charlestown, 02129.
Big shout out, yes.
So I get to play a guy from my neighborhood, from the decade in which I grew up, in the 90s.
There
and
you
that
go.
was
That's method acting.
again a privilege, but also a great deal of responsibility, because I think one of the hard things people that I didn't appreciate was, coming home spiritually and physically is not actually easy. You think it's like, oh yeah, just play yourself, but oftentimes putting on a little bit of a character gives a bit of comfortability that you don't have when you have to go home and kind of reflect the true people or neighborhood or people that you are and you know.
Right.
See, yeah, go ahead.
No, I will say though, that's something that you see, because you look at the resume and your previous roles, and you are, I mean, you just jump in one to the other, chameleon. Like you've kind of mastered that.
That's very nice of you to say.
But you have, there's certain actors that get portrayed as one.
Yeah,
so
I love people, man.
Right.
And the blessing of being an actor is that like the whole world opens up to you. You are invited into the lives and the stories and the worlds of so many diverse places and people and experiences and events and times and if you take on that invitation with a sense of purpose and mission and vulnerability, man, the whole thing just opens up, and everybody has something to offer. Everybody has a story to tell, and getting to be a part of that conversation professionally has been the privilege of my life.
Incredible. And how was it working with, we have to talk about them, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? Were they very hands-on?
Well, they were more the gods in the sky.
Okay, got
they're both.
That's
both
what I was
very
wondering.
Busy.
Okay, they are busy men. They're busy.
They're both very busy. But if the show ends up moving forward, because it is just a pilot at this point, I'm expecting both of them.
I think it's got a good chance. It's got a power team behind it. You'd like to think it's got a good chance, but who knows in this world?
Man.
Yeah?
You never know. It's I've gotten to see extraordinarily talented people not be able to produce the sort of stuff that you think they will, and then people who come out of nowhere that just hit grand slams with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth in the World Series. So it's like you just don't.
It's the
you don't know,
industry.
man.
You never know. Well, we do know that Westworld season 2 will be April 22nd, I think.
Yes.
April 22nd.
Well, that's also one of the great things about coming into a show that's already going.
Right.
Is you know the quality of the storytelling. You know the characters.
Right.
And that's been one of the things I've so enjoyed about working in television in the past few years is it takes out so much of the risk.
Right.
I mean, that's why the pilot system still works. That's why we still make television pilots to see if they end up going, because there's so much magic that needs to be found.
Right.
And when you go make a film, there's all those different elements.
Right.
You don't know if they're going to come together or not.
Right. There you go. One word to describe, because you can't tell us too much about season 2. Obviously, Major Craddock and your character. One word to describe season 2 for you.
For me, boy, because the fun thing about Westworld is I'm going to be as much of a fan as you guys are, because those scripts do not come into me fully loaded. I get my parts, and the rest of it is blacked out, which is fun.
Right.
But for my story of it, I would say, my story is really one about a misguided dignity.
Okay.
I think, hearkening back to a period in time in American history that is both shameful, but also filled with a sense of honor for this character in particular. Major Craddock.
There he is.
That's right.
There he is.
The head of the new
He's coming out a little bit now, I can tell. We're going to do a quick 5 questions.
I'm terrible at 5
THR top 5. You'll be good with these. You'll be good
Bad
with
with
these.
superlatives.
You'll be good with these.
All right.
I know you will.
I like to talk my way out of a box.
Movie you loved as a kid that you wish you were in?
What's the prison movie with Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins? It's called Shawshank Redemption.
There you go. That's a good one. The first moment that comes to mind when I say career highlight. One moment. Doesn't have to be it. Just one moment that comes to mind.
Just one moment. Well, sure. This Ed Harris dragging me, in the middle of the night with rain pouring down by the hook of my mouth.
That's a strong moment. It is award season. Favorite movie of 2017?
I gotta say, man, Get Out was really. I thought that was pretty fantastic.
It was amazing, shocking, funny, had it all. What would be the soundtrack song to your career in Hollywood?
Boy, I don't know, man. It would be it would be the most mixed up Spotify
Right.
list they've ever put together.
Okay.
A lot of there's been I am coming to my own now 25 years after I first started working. And in
Wow.
point of fact, City on a Hill from the Showtime show, the last project I did in Boston was in 1992, and it has taken me now exactly 25 years to come home. So I mean that in all the ways in which we define home.
I like that. Maybe a song, Coming Home. I think there's a song out there.
There is.
something like that.
Well, yeah, it's a great song by
Okay.
Nick Jonas on the Ferdinand hit, which is out in theaters right now. You can
We
watch
got
it.
there. That's a great plug.
Nick, I'm plugging the song. The other song
Brilliant.
on that album, by the way, is called Watch Me, which I have a songwriting credit for. So, I'm plugging my own tunes as well.
Gotta be honest, wasn't expecting that.
Bam!
There you go. We will wrap this up with before you got into the Hollywood world. Who was your Hollywood crush before any of this started?
Oh, boy. Well, Peggy,
Who was on your walls?
Peggy Bundy was very high up on that list. And whenever I get to meet Kurt Sutter, I'm going to tell him, boy, your wife was my #1 hit for quite some time. Miss Siegel, lovely to see you.
That would be a great moment. Check this guy out in Westworld season 2. Brilliant.